All right, welcome to episode 13 of the Some Brothers podcast, where us brothers talk about books, movies, music, and more. I'm Dillon, here as always with my brother Ryan. And first of all, since last time we talked, has anyone barfed on anyone else's shoes?
No, what I have to talk... I actually have several random things to talk about. These aren't necessarily really news, but like this has become the random section of the podcast, I feel like.
Yeah.
Somebody at work just had a kid. I'm not close to this person, but I'm close in proximity to my cubicle, so I overhear things. And what I noticed, it's possible that I misheard this, but I think I heard this correct. That they just had a kid named Nico, so two boys. They had one new kid. They already had a kid named Nico, and already had a kid named Roman. And I'm like, well, this might be a coincidence, but are they just naming their kids after characters from GTA 4?
Oh, okay. That did not register for me. Those character
Yeah, that's
names.
why I think it's a coincidence, but. Like, a weird coincidence because it's the two, like, it's Nico is the one you play as.
Okay.
And then his cousin is Roman.
Is it like...
remember Nico, my cousin.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. And they're Italian, right? I would assume?
No, I think they're Eastern European,
okay.
Russian or something like that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Nico, like Nikolaj or something.
Yeah.
Because that was just going to be my guess, is like maybe if they're common names from a certain culture, maybe they're just from the same culture, but because that would be a pretty bizarre, like, fictional world to take your baby names, I think.
Yeah, I think it could be that. I think those are potentially names from, like, I don't know what the culture might be, but I could even see that being like Greek,
yeah,
or something like that. I think there's some crossover in that area geographically and culturally where you might have some similar names, and it's probably just a coincidence, but I was like, what the heck, that's kind of crazy.
It is. Yeah, it's kind of a thing to notice, because Nico seems like it could be kind of common, but I don't think I've ever met a Roman. Doesn't seem super
I don't
common.
know that's common these days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next thing would be little anecdote. Do you remember the show Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
Yes, I remember it.
It's from the 70s.
I remember it having Sunfire in there. Is that the right show?
It's Firestar.
Firestar.
It's Spider-Man, Firestar, and Iceman.
Okay.
But did you know that Firestar was created for that show?
No, I did not know that. And I didn't know it was from the 70s either.
Yeah, we had like one episode on, which is interesting. I saw it. Like, sometimes when I'm, like, just doing something, I'll put something, like a show on, even in the background. And so I found that on Disney Plus and just put it on. And it's a few seasons, and this is, like, a random episode in the middle of it, but that's what we had on VHS when we were kids. A Firestar is Born that tells the origin of Firestar. And it includes her, like, the X-Men are in it. That's the one where they, like, have to get Juggernaut's helmet off of his head and stuff. And I remember that so much, but it's like episode 17 of season 2 or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a random, maybe it's season 1, I don't know. But I just always would have thought that this was a character that existed, but in just like looking up stuff out of curiosity about the show, I found that out, and it was because they wanted to get Human Torch, but they couldn't get the rights.
Oh, so they
for that show.
It's a female,
so they made
character,
one up,
right?
Yeah, yeah. So they made up Firestar. They just made up another fire hero to put in there.
That's really interesting because, I mean, you just unlocked that memory for me. I kind of forgot about that, but as soon as you said it, I pictured her, like the woman with fire powers. I definitely wouldn't have guessed that she was from that show as an origin. But yeah, I remember that plot line too, specifically about getting Juggernaut's helmet off. That's random that we would have had. Was it just the one episode we had on VHS?
I don't remember any other episodes. None of the other ones seemed familiar, so maybe there was another one on that VHS, but that was certainly the first one on there that we watched, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's interesting. Blast from the past.
Yeah. That's a cool show though, at least as a kid, where like they have their like command center, like they pull this trophy on the mantle and like the rug flips over and the couch goes back in and all this like computer command stuff comes out of the walls. And they're, and it's like they're doing that, and like Aunt May comes by and they always have to go whoops and switch it back.
Hide it all.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And it features the cool Iceman turns into Iceman by putting himself into a block of ice and then busting out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Okay, so another show related thing. Are you familiar with? Were you really familiar with X-23?
Isn't that the girl from Logan?
Yes, it's the kid? It's the girl Wolverine clone.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. In the movie Logan, but is a character like in the comics. But did you know that character was created for the show X-Men Evolution? Do you remember that one?
You might need to refresh my memory on which one
That's the one from the, I would say, early 2000s, where they're like all in high school, the X-Men. It's kind of a different art style, but they're, that's basically it. They're like all in high school. If you Google that and see the art style, you might recall it. We definitely watched that like while it was on TV.
Yep. I just Googled it. Definitely recognizable style.
So that's another one that I have put on in the background, and then through also Googling, that's what I found is like, what? X-23 was made in this series.
Yeah.
Like they made up that plot line.
That's pretty cool. And then ends up being a part of Logan, one of the most iconic Marvel movies of recent times, I would say. Yeah, wow, I definitely forgot about that show because like the old the 90s X-Men cartoon is more prominent in my memory. That one was like super
Well, that's
cool.
where I started with my background show thing was with that, and then I continued with they made like a not a reboot, a continuation. New like last year, X-Men 97 is what they called it, right?
I did notice that on streaming. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was the old one or not.
It's a continuation of the old one.
That's cool.
But it's a slightly different style, but it's still I think captured it pretty well. And then Disney Plus kept like going like, oh, then you should watch this and you should watch this, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about X-Men Evolution and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was cool. To keep going long-winded with another random thing, I had the idea. So I have this that it may or may not become anything, and this is almost like a main thing, but I thought I'd try it out just in this section. AI Feud. I thought, hey, can you use AI to generate a Family Feud style survey of 100 people? And yes, you can. And I thought it could be funny because AI gets a lot of things weird and wrong, and so I wanted to pick that kind of a thing and see if that's even because the first thing that I don't even remember what I asked it at first. I didn't do this very long. I just did a couple things, and I don't remember what I asked it first, but I was like, well, that's kind of boring because that seems reasonable and real, you know what I mean? I just wanted to pick something where it would do something that maybe wasn't so reasonable and real, and I wanted to see what it would know. And so I went to Gemini, because Gemini is owned by Google. Our channel is on YouTube, owned by Google, so I would imagine it can be trained on our videos, right, and look at that stuff. So I asked it I asked it to pretend it was 100 subscribers to our channel, right? And to answer the question, name one of Dillon's favorite movies. Name one of Dillon's favorite movies that we did on Adaptation Station.
Okay, interesting. And I have to guess what the top 5 are or something?
5, yeah. There's 5 answers on the board. Try to guess, make some guesses in AI Feud.
Yeah, that's interesting because, like, I could just look at my scores and know what they are, but will AI get that correct?
Right, exactly.
I think the highest rated, at least so far at this point, is still, there's a couple I think that tied. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Ding. Number 2. 21 AI people responded with that answer.
Okay, cool. Then the next one should be Kingsman, maybe number 1? Kingsman? Not even on the board?
Not on the list.
I'm pretty sure I gave those the same score, but these are, traditionally people's memory surveyed, and then this is like AI pretending to be a person guessing. Okay, what else did I rate highly? The Green Mile?
Strike 2.
Gosh, what else could be on there? Everything Must Go, Will Ferrell.
That's 3 strikes already.
What the heck?
Let's reveal what's on here.
Yeah.
Number 5, The Dark Half.
Nuh-uh, I did not even like that movie at all. What the heck?
Number 4, Knock at the Cabin.
That one was okay.
Get this one, though. Number 3, Under the Skin.
What? Well, I mean, I think I liked that better than The Dark Half, actually, but not very much.
You got number 2 with 10 Things I Hate About You. Number 1, Jackie Brown.
No, that's like my least favorite Quentin Tarantino movie.
So I'm going to read, they gave justifications for each of their answers, and I'm going to read what they said on here because I thought it was kind of funny. Jackie Brown, this is the gold standard for Dillon. In the Rum Punch versus Jackie Brown episode, he famously praised Tarantino's adaptation for improving upon Elmore Leonard's already great source material.
Okay.
Most fans associate this as his peak adaptation pick.
What the heck? Most fans. That's
well,
interesting.
we both didn't like that book, so
yeah,
right? So,
it's like it was almost correct because I do think the movie is better than the book, but the part
it's just the already great source material is like
not,
pulled out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me how much information it can pull, like random things from these videos. Like some of that is enough things, but the context is like just all wrong. Like, right? It doesn't understand it. And it's because it probably doesn't have enough data. It doesn't have a lot of people discussing the episode in comments and stuff in any of these episodes because we have fairly low viewership. That's why I thought this would be funny, is to see what it says.
Yeah, because it has to just make up that part.
10 Things I Hate About You. Dillon has a soft spot for clever Shakespearean updates.
That's true.
His enthusiasm for how this film modernized The Taming of the Shrew makes it a go-to answer for longtime viewers.
That's funny.
That one's not bad.
Yeah, I
Under
agree
the Skin.
with that.
Oh, yeah. Under the Skin, often cited by Dillon as a movie that should be more popular, he frequently brings up the atmospheric storytelling of the film compared to the more literal nature of the book.
It might be mixing up who we are.
It
you know
might,
what I mean?
yeah.
That's probably your opinion.
Yeah, but also, like, that second part is basically just made up, like, compared to the more literal nature of the book. I mean, I guess that's true. The movie is definitely more like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah,
so,
but that's...
But
I don't
we
think
both
we
also
say
really
that.
liked the book. We didn't really say that. I think that's just it making something up.
Yeah, probably.
Knock at the Cabin. As a huge M. Night Shyamalan fan, and someone who has ranked his entire filmography...
That's true.
Dillon's defense and enjoyment of this adaptation of The Cabin at the End of the World is a staple of his horror takes.
Yeah, that's like partly true. I like M. Night Shyamalan. We did a ranking video. I think it was like top 5.
That's what I think is interesting about it pulling some things that are like, yeah, that first part definitely true, Like, I wouldn't have expected it to pull and someone who ranked his entire filmography out of there.
That's pretty good. Props for that.
And that one is like clearly, for the most part, these seem to differentiate who we are. Like for the most part, except for Under the Skin, it's got who we are correct, I think. And then The Dark Half, representing his deep dive into Stephen King, this Romero-directed adaptation is one Dillon has consistently defended for its tone and lead performance, making it a common answer for niche fans.
What the heck? That's just, they're making up a whole world where, like, I've gone on a tour of, like, consistently defending it. And, like, lead performance, I couldn't tell you who plays the main character in that movie. I do not remember.
I don't remember either, honestly. And it's not a very good movie.
It said niche fans, like we have a lot of fans, but then some of them are niche fans.
Yeah, that they like the niche episodes or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was a little bit entertaining.
Yeah, that was cool because it's a good lesson in like don't trust everything you hear from AI is one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also fun. I like games like that, like Family Feud. It'd be a fun guessing game, but then kind of also the logic goes out the window.
Well, yeah, I was doing that on purpose, you know, to get one that where the logic went out the window. Clearly, if we wanted to do this, it is possible to use AI for something that is more mainstream, that has enough data for it.
Yeah, then we could
definitely generate an actual Family Feud. It's just not quite as fun in the spirit of it because you didn't actually ask people.
Yeah,
you know. So I don't know. Just something I wanted to try. Do you have any
that was cool.
news stuff? That was just my news.
I know. This is going to be a long episode because, boy, I tell you, I got some recommendations. But actually, I wanted to mention one thing. Just based off of this, I remembered it, that an old coworker of mine, a fellow English teacher, sent me a text not that long ago where she said, some of her students were looking for book reviews, or they asked to watch The Green Mile in class, and she said one of my students requested to watch The Green Mile, and I remembered your YouTube channel where you discussed it, and so she tried to Google find it, and she just Google searched Dillon Allen YouTube Green Mile review, and it popped up with a big AI summary that it's just funny, the voice kind of that AI has, like the things you were just reading, where it says, Dillon Allen's review of The Green Mile offers a personal and engaging perspective on the film. He discusses the emotional depth of the story, highlighting the performances of Tom Hanks and Michael Clarke Duncan. Allen emphasizes the film's exploration of themes such as compassion, justice, and the supernatural, making it a memorable adaptation of Stephen King's novel. I don't remember saying any of that, touching on themes.
That almost says, it's almost a lot of stuff that is super generic, and a lot of it almost doesn't mean anything even specifically to that movie. It's it would, take that almost exact structure and plug in any other movie that exists, and you could see how it would spit out almost the same thing multiple times for any, individual, super famous reviewers review of something.
For sure.
It's very generic.
It another thing about that being generic, it also seems like it repeats itself in a way where it's is it trying to reach a word count limit on an essay type of thing? Because it says that, and then later it has a bullet point list that it says the same things. It seems like it says key themes, emotional depth. The review underscores the film's ability to evoke strong feelings. Bullet point 2, character performances. Special mention is given to the lead actor's portrayals. Bullet point 3, themes of justice and compassion. The narrative's exploration of morality is a focal point. It's it has a paragraph saying generic things, and then it reviews the paragraph in bullet points.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's just weird, also seeing things that we do through that lens of AI voice. I wouldn't expect something we're doing to be out there like that.
Yeah. That's why, I was saying, I was surprised first off that the first attempt actually gave a list of 5 movies that we did, and they were all movies. None of them were the book version. They were all Knock at the Cabin is the correct movie version, right? 10 Things I Hate About You, and in those descriptions, it correctly identified the book adaptation of each of those. It was surprising how much it did get right. Although, you can't take all of it. That's for sure. If you were trying to use it for school, you'd be all sorts of wrong.
Definitely true. Yeah, that's the main takeaway. But yeah, definitely impressive and interesting the way it can get some things right. In a way that, it could very easily mislead you into believing all the stuff because it's it got a lot of it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this was a long just introduction part with an AI tangent, but let's get into our recommendations because we've got a lot to talk about today. Do you have any reading recommendations?
I do. I read The Hunt for Red October.
Okay,
This
cool.
was a reread. It's been on our adaptation station list
Yeah.
for a while, but like we do like a voting thing where each of us vote, and it's even been fairly low on my voting list. So I figured we weren't going to get to it anytime soon, and I felt the urge to read it, so I just read it. And it's a reread for me. I read it in middle school the first time, but I really liked it. It's very thrilling all the way through.
Tom Clancy, right?
Tom Clancy, yeah. This is his first novel, and
cool.
it's the Jack Ryan is the character. Like this starts the Ryan verse, and I also have related to this that I thought was funny. Like I wasn't expecting to like it again this much because I'm like military political thriller. How interesting is it? But I remembered liking it. But yeah, very good. And then I've recently started listening to John and Hank Green's podcast.
Oh, okay.
And there was an episode where Hank just mentioned they just like it's a comedy podcast, but they like answer questions from their audience a lot of times, and they could be about anything. But he mentioned that he was talking about like how do you choose what book you want to read as an adult once you get past like assigned readings in school and stuff. There's so many options. How do you choose? And he was just saying like there's some books that like you're just gonna like just pick first off like pick the classics, like they're classics for a reason, because they're good. And then he said he was like, if you're a middle-aged guy, you're gonna like a Tom Clancy novel. And I was like, okay, funny. Makes sense. You know.
Yeah.
So that resonated with me. And then we're not in the watching section yet, but I also did follow it up by watching the movie.
Okay, nice.
Which is good, but very different, and the book is so much better. I wouldn't really recommend the movie after the book. Like for my mini review, I would say watch the movie first, maybe.
Interesting. Well, if we do an episode on it eventually, if we want to, I would have to watch it first. So I would take your recommendation.
Yep. So that's my reading recommendation. Do you have a reading recommendation?
Yeah, I have a few things to talk about, actually. I like what Hank Green was saying about how to choose a book. That's interesting to think about because I haven't watched that podcast you're talking about, but I'm a big John Green fan since I was a teenager. I've read all his books except for his most recent one. I need to catch up on that. But something I think about with choosing what books to read, I'm often overwhelmed with there's so many books out there that I would be interested to read. It is hard to choose. But one thing I like to do is find lists of books that are kind of like in a category or something. So I have like an ongoing reading list. And one of those that I've talked about on here is from the publication Book Riot. They have their list of the most translated books from each country around the world. And because our most recent episode of Adaptation Station is on Ireland's most translated book, I wanted to share what right now are my top 5 from that list.
Okay. Yeah.
That's only 5 out of 11. I've read 11 from that list so far. I'm going very slowly through it amongst reading other things.
Amongst a lot of other reading.
Yeah. So just like every once in a while, I'll pick up one from that list. So far out of 11, these are, the top half, a little bit less than the top half for top 5. Number 5 is from Venezuela. Their most translated book is called Doña Barbara by Romulo Gallegos. This is a book that was actually gifted to me from a student from Venezuela. She said it was her favorite book of all time, and I was happy to find it was also on that list so I could check it off by reading it. And it's pretty cool. They say it's like a, what do they call it? Magical realism in like the Latin American magical realism genre. But I like it that it's a lot more realistic than magic, because the magical realism part of it is mostly like rumors and gossip about the title character. Doña Barbara. She's like this powerful woman who owns a lot of property. And so there's like gossip that like, oh, she's like a witch. She has powers to like manipulate people and always get what she wants. But other than that, it's very realistic. Like two different families are feuding and there's property disputes. So pretty cool drama novel. My number 4 is Algeria's most translated book, and it's The Stranger by Albert Camus. This one I was surprised to see was Algeria's most translated novel because I always thought Albert Camus was just a French writer. He writes in French. But that's where I learned that the way this list is like wherever a writer was born, they can represent that country.
Okay.
So he was born in Algeria. So his famous novel, The Stranger, is their most translated, which is a really good novel. I don't want to talk about it too much to spoil it or anything. It's kind of shows his existentialist philosophy in a short novel. My number 3 is France's most translated novel, which is The Little Prince. The author is Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Don't know how to say it. But The Little Prince, it's like a book for kids, really short one. Yeah. Did you ever read this one?
No, I remember you talking about it, though.
Yeah. I didn't read it when I was a kid, so I wasn't sure if I'd like it as an adult, but this is another one. A student gave it to me as a gift, and they gave me the Spanish translation because they know that I'm studying Spanish. So it's a good level for me to read in a second language, a kid's book. And I was surprised that I really liked it. I mean, it's a cool, interesting story about like a space explorer, and it has some interesting drawings in there too. My number 2 is what we just covered on Adaptation Station, Ireland's most translated book, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas by John Boyne. For my top 2, just go and watch our most recent episode on The Boy in Striped Pajamas. I talk about that a lot there. And then I also recommended what is currently my number 1 from this list, Rwanda's most translated book, Left to Tell by Immaculée Ilibagiza. Might be pronouncing that wrong, but a true story about a woman who survived the Rwandan genocide of the 1990s.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at so far with that list. Stay tuned. Maybe I'll do updates in the future, kind of a power rankings thing. I did want to give another reading recommendation before we move on to the watching recommendations. And this will be kind of a good transition into watching because it has to do with both. So another sort of list, if you want to call it, that I'm working through is just trying to read every book by George Orwell.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That's another way, as an adult, if you're looking for books to read, if there's one author you really liked their book, just find more books by them. And so I'm almost done. I only have one more George Orwell book to read. And the most recent one I read is called Keep the Aspidistra Flying. And this one, I'm like sort of toward the end of the list, like his less well-known books. And I wasn't expecting to find a book that I liked more than 1984 and Animal Farm, but this one's my current favorite. Yeah.
Wow.
I really like this one. Maybe it's a little more niche because I would compare it to The Catcher in the Rye, though, which I know you liked as well. Yeah, because this novel, which predates The Catcher in the Rye, it's a similar, like, angsty young man type of story, which is not for everybody. But this guy, the character, is living in London, and he's trying to make it as a writer and a poet, and he works in a used bookstore. So it's a lot more, like, literary focused than Holden Caulfield, and I would say more relatable in a way, just because Holden Caulfield's kind of like, rich kid, fancy prep school, not relatable to everybody, but this one's more like, it's more about his money struggles, and he's kind of mad at the world because he has his idealistic literary ideas, but then the world only cares about money type of stuff. So I really enjoyed it, but I also wanted to share a few sentences that I found interesting because it kind of relates to what we do on our show, Adaptation Station. For some context, I have to say this was originally published in the 1930s. Okay. So there's a scene where he's wandering around London and he sees a movie theater, which he calls a picture house. And these are like brand new things at the time. So it's like showing his opinion on it. And this is how he says it. Quote, "The pubs were open, oozing sour whiffs of beer. People were trickling by ones and twos into the picture houses. Gordon," the main character, "Gordon halted outside a great garish picture house under the weary eye of the commissionaire to examine the photographs. Greta Garbo in The Painted Veil. He yearned to go inside, not for Greta's sake, but just for the warmth and the softness of the velvet seat. He hated the pictures, of course. Seldom went there even when he could afford it. Why encourage the art that is destined to replace literature?" So that's the line that stood out to me as like interesting to see a 1930s like literary minded person's opinion on movie theaters being like, oh, these are going to replace books. No one will want to read anymore. They're too busy going to the picture house.
Yeah, well, it makes sense, I think, to think that way of like a new technology. It's like this is what people are gonna watch, but
but now
didn't quite turn out that way.
Exactly. So now 90 years later, I wouldn't say that movies have replaced literature.
No.
Yeah, of course, people read less, but I think, the spirit of our show is showing the connection between literature and movies.
Yeah. I think that potentially right now, like as of very recently, people are maybe reading less, but I would say overall more people can read and do read because of more people being able to read.
That's a good point.
In the past.
Yeah. Just like literacy is more accessible to more people, which is a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, actually, if anything, there's, now there's a fear of that people aren't going to the movie theater enough.
Yeah.
Because they can stay inside.
Watching everything at home. Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that because I'm in a little bit of a theater drought. So I wrote down a bunch of movies for the rest of the year that I want to go see in theaters to make sure that I do, Yeah.
I mean, I hope that theaters can get a kind of resurgence because I was really excited to go back to the movie theater after, the COVID pandemic for a while. So I was excited. The first movie I saw back in theaters was M. Night Shyamalan's Old.
Oh, yeah. Did we see that together in theaters?
Maybe. Yeah, we might have.
I feel like we might have. I just don't recall specifically if it was like the first one I saw after COVID or not. I know, I don't know.
And maybe it sticks more in my mind because as AI summarized, I'm an M. Night Shyamalan super fan or whatever it said.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the topic of movie theaters and watching, do you have any watching recommendations?
Right before I go into that, I was just I was trying to think and browse through really fast to see if I like what I have read from that list of most translated books, and it looks like I've only read 4. Just happened to have read 4, and I think 2 of them are ones you haven't read yet. But the 2 you have is Boy in Striped Pajamas and The Alchemist.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are Norwegian Wood and 2666.
Yes, I do need to get to those still. I actually have a copy of each. I have your copy of 2666.
Yeah.
And
I read your copy of Norwegian Wood.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten
a couple years ago
to it yet. I should definitely read those soon. I haven't read those ones. We'll come back to it.
Yeah. Well, so for watching, I was just going to mention that we're now also watching Jack Ryan, the show.
That's John Krasinski, right?
John Krasinski. and it's good. I had previously only watched the first 2 seasons, because then they had a little break. That was the first 2 seasons before COVID kind of delayed it, I think, a little bit. And we have just gotten to that point. Like, we've watched 2 seasons. We're ready to go into what I haven't seen. And there's 4 seasons, and I think I saw that they're making a movie of that.
Oh, interesting.
So that's interesting. Obviously, it's an update. It's modern. It's contemporary Jack Ryan, not like Cold War Jack Ryan. But
makes sense. That's a easy thing to do in the vein of like James Bond. Has existed since the 40s or 50s, whenever he started writing those books.
Yeah,
interesting. I also wanted to recommend a TV show, actually. I recently watched on Netflix a TV show called Bloodhounds.
Bloodhounds.
Yeah, this is a South Korean show that I watched it because it was from the director Jason Kim, who directed one of my favorite recent movies called Officer Black Belt. I've definitely gotten into my niche of just watching a lot of martial arts stuff. And I really liked that movie, so I was trying to see if he had other movies, and I found this show, Bloodhounds. It's about 2 boxers in South Korea, in Seoul, in the capital, who basically turn into like kind of superhero type of people without superpowers, because they're boxers, but then they start fighting crime. Because it takes place during COVID, and there's an organization of loan sharks who are targeting small businesses, where they like pretend to be a government program that's helping them. But then they have secret stuff in their clause that's like, you have to pay this amount within 24 hours, or we put your rate up super high. And then they come back and they're not nice anymore. They're like, they destroy their small business, and they're like beating people up. And then one of the people who's targeted is the mom of the main boxer character, who owns a cafe that's struggling. So that brings the boxer and his friend, who's like a guy he boxed against, into fighting organized crime. And I loved this show. I binged the 2 seasons that there are of it really fast. Great action, great drama, really like relatable, like good guys versus bad guys, but it's also, gets pretty dark sometimes. And just, the action is great. I like the style of like, they do boxing style for all the fight scenes. And so I would highly recommend that show, Bloodhounds. It makes me feel like I've been sleeping on watching like martial arts TV shows.
Yeah.
Because I mostly watch movies in that genre.
Yeah, I wouldn't have really thought about it. It's not really my genre as much as what I'm into. But yeah, I wouldn't have thought of martial arts shows either.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what other ones I've watched. And like, I would include Daredevil. That's basically a martial arts show.
Yeah.
So Daredevil, Iron Fist, which was not a good example. But then some other ones I liked is there's a show called Marco Polo, which is about the historical person Marco Polo. And then he, it's about him going to China, and so it has Kublai Khan, who is played by the guy who's in Marvel movies. He plays, I can't remember the character's name. He's in Doctor Strange. His name's just like Wang or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He's Wong.
Wong, yeah. So he's in that show, and that show was really good. And then another show on Netflix that's called Warrior, that is based on a concept written by Bruce Lee that he never got to star in because he passed away tragically young. But they made it somewhat recently. It's about Chinese immigrants living in San Francisco in the 1800s. And so it's kind of like different groups of Chinese immigrants versus each other, but then like Irish cops and a lot of tension and fighting between them. So yeah, a few good martial arts shows I've watched that makes me feel like I should be checking out more.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, since you mentioned that, actually, it's not something I wrote down, but it reminded me of it because you said that was a Korean show. Just last night, we watched an A24 movie from 2020 called Minari. It's about a Korean American family where the parents were from Korea. They immigrated to the United States. The kids seem like they were born here. They can speak English too. And the story takes place in the 80s when the family has just moved to Arkansas from California. And the father is trying to start a farm and get them going. And it's pretty good. Look at it. Stephen Yeun is the dad. Most people probably know him from Walking Dead.
I haven't watched that, but he was recently in the movie The Rip, if I'm thinking of the right guy.
I don't know. I haven't seen The Rip.
The one with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing that.
But yeah, he's good from what I've seen him in. Kind of on that topic, that is the right guy?
Yep, so that's the same guy.
On that topic, that just reminded me, do you usually watch movies or TV with the subtitles on, like captions? Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like any movie? No.
Only
if
like...
it's in English.
Yeah.
Only if it's non-English. What I was getting at is subtitles, not dubbed.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, I would rather watch the subtitled one so you hear the original language, not dubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've gotten, because I lately watch a lot of like foreign movies and shows because they make, better martial arts stuff. I sometimes, even if it's in English, I'll watch it with subtitles on. But either way, for anything, one thing I've noticed is that I always think is funny is how they describe the music in the subtitles. Have you ever noticed this?
Oh. No, I don't think they do that if it's just like the subtitles are part of the movie because it's a foreign language film. If you versus turning on the English subtitles.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a thing in the English subtitles, but I always think it's funny because they get very specific, but also I'm like, I don't know if that's how I would interpret the music because it'll say stuff like suspenseful music plays, but sometimes it'll be like pensive music plays, and I'm like,
it gets really specific.
Yeah, I don't know if it's pensive. One I just saw the other day, and it was just on like a cooking show. It was like Master Chef or something. It said intrepid music plays.
Intrepid.
I was like, how the heck did they come up with that adjective to describe the music? Intrepid, which is like,
yeah. Then it just seems like somebody's having fun doing that or something.
Yeah, and how does that really help someone if they're just reading it? How does it help them kind of interpret the scene? I don't know. That's just something that's funny that stood out to me recently. Well, speaking of music, actually, that's a good transition.
Yeah.
Do you have any music recommendations?
I actually do. Based on that podcast I listened to, that is actually, I finished the 60 songs that explain the 90s. I got through all 120 of the 60 songs that they did.
That's funny.
And now the podcast is branded the same, and I'm still way behind where it is currently, but it's 60 songs that explain the 90s, the 2000s. So now it's songs that explain the 2000s. And the first episode of that is Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Makes sense. And they always have an interview at the end with somebody who's talking about the song and that stuff too. And it's usually another music critic. And so that person was recommended Brandon Flowers, specifically his second solo album.
Oh.
He has 2 solo albums. And so I listened to that. It's called The Desired Effect. It's from 2015. It is pretty good. The first half, I feel like, is better. I think there's a lot of albums like that where it's like, oh, you get a few good songs in the first half and the second half kind of trails off a little bit. But there's a few in the first half that are pretty good. If you're a fan of the Killers, I would recommend that. I did go back and listen to his first album that's called Flamingo from 2010. It's not as good. It is more reminiscent of about when I fell off of the Killers around what was that one? New Age, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's like more purple
the
looking.
one with Are We Human or Are We Dancer?
Yeah.
Wasn't really my favorite,
yeah, I like those first
Hot Fuss
two.
and Sam's Town,
yeah,
I think,
exactly.
are the first two. Mm-hmm. I liked those ones the most. And there was I felt like there was a little more of those in the desired effect. So it was pretty good.
That's cool. I don't think I've heard any solo Brandon Flowers stuff. But yeah, that made me think of a concept I was thinking about before of like there's certain bands that I feel like were really good in the early 2000s, but then they kind of feel like they were stuck there, and like I don't like much of their stuff after that decade. The Killers kind of being one of those for me, I think. I might have to look at the years on them, but also like Kings of Leon, first few albums, great, and then fell off for me. Also for me, for a genre, I like Fall Out Boy. I really liked their first few albums, and then they turned into something weird.
I would kind of say the Fratellis.
Oh, yeah, great one.
The Fratellis also, first two albums, I think, were good, and then,
Yeah, I agree. Like, first album, amazing. Second album, still pretty good, and then didn't like anything after that. Yeah, interesting. Some people got stuck in that decade.
Yeah.
The one recommendation I wanted to give for music is one I'm pretty excited about. I found a new album that's a personal 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
I've been keeping track of my album ratings for years now, on the same way we do for everything else, scale of 1 to 10. And I have like about 30 albums I consider 10 out of 10s. That's a lot, yeah. So just to like damper it a little bit, to say like, yeah, this is one of my favorite albums, but that means top 30 type of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I was excited to find it because I haven't given a 10 out of 10 to an album since 2018. I was looking back. So part of me, I was worried, like, am I just getting old? And I'm like, I'm not going to like new music anymore.
Right.
But then just last year, 2025, the album Lotus by Little Sims came out.
Huh.
So this is for my rap fans out there. I'm a fan of hip hop. And Little Sims is a rapper from London, England. And she came out with an album in, I think it was 2021, that I thought was great, called Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. That album was great, but not like a 10 out of 10 to me. So, and even she had an album after that I didn't like as much. It felt like, it was like 1 year later, it felt like The Leftovers to me. So going into listening to this new album, I was like, well, I hope I like it, but I'm not sure. And then it totally surprised me. Right from the beginning, it starts with like, kind of like a rock song almost. It has a lot of like rock instrumentation in it, and then some songs are kind of jazzy. So it works in a lot of different genres musically, but then she's still rapping over it. So that's one that I've just had on repeat for like the past month, which hasn't happened a lot with new release albums. Like I'll listen to it once and maybe I'll like a couple songs I go back to, but this is one where I was like starting it over and just re-listening to the whole album.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, that's been really exciting for me. Okay, next, our newest category that we keep returning to is our video games. Do you have any video game recommendations?
Yeah, just to continue from last month, it's still, I'm not playing a whole lot, but I got one other new game in my collection, and that would be X-Men Mutant Academy 2 for PlayStation. These are fighting games, X-Men Mutant Academy. This is in my quest to find the fighting game that we played on PlayStation over at one of our dad's employees' house during a barbecue. Do you remember?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. We played a fighting game with X-Men in it there, and I've not found it yet. I got X-Men Mutant Academy. I'm like, surely it's that, because I know it's X-Men mostly. I feel like it was mostly X-Men. But I don't know. This is a memory from 20 plus years, 25 years ago. It was not that.
If I'm thinking of the same one, I thought it was like Marvel versus Capcom.
I think you're right now.
Yeah.
So this was my journey. I was like, X-Men Mutant Academy, got it. not that one. And I was like, okay, so it's the second one. There's two. They're both for PlayStation 1. Got it? No, it's not that one. I'm like, gosh, what the heck is it? And then I was like, oh yeah, it specifically I remembered it had Blackheart in it. As a character, not a common character, but I remembered that, and so I googled that and found a number of games that Blackheart is in, and that is one of them. What you mentioned, Marvel vs. Capcom. No, Marvel. It wasn't Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We played that one a lot. Let me see if I can find it, because I did write it down. The one that I thought that it was, but you're right that it is one of those type of games. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter is what I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember any non-Marvel characters, but for some reason I thought it was like one of those like Marvel versus somebody else.
I can't either. But yeah, I think Blackheart was also in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but we played that on our own separately. I remember renting that, and that's not for PS1, and it doesn't fit the timeline as much as that one.
I would not have remembered Blackheart, but after you mentioned it, I can picture it. Who I remembered being in it, if I'm thinking of the same one, is I feel like Omega Red was a playable character.
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. And that is this game. I believe I've found it. Third time's a charm. When I pick up Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, I think it's that one.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely would like to play that again too. So I hope you find it and we can play it soon, because another core memory you just unlocked for me. I remember liking
those
that
weird
game.
Random memories that we played a thing once at this really specific thing that we went to. You know what I mean? Like that's we didn't play it other than that.
One time.
I think that's the only place we played it, one time.
But it is. So, I don't know why it's memorable, but I picture the room we were in where the TV was.
Yeah.
Window, glass door behind it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so weird.
Weird.
Oh, that's awesome. I have just one video game to mention. I'll say I haven't played it enough to say if I'm recommending it or not. But like I said last time, my wife and I are borrowing a PlayStation 4, so we were looking for games that are good for co-op modes. And I always liked any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game I've played.
Okay.
So we picked up TMNT Mutants Unleashed, which is a more recent one than I would have ever played before. But it has an interesting kind of art style. It kind of like tries to make it seem more modern, and like they're definitely trying to make them seem like teenagers, the main characters, you know? Okay. Like they seem like young people. They kind of change their costumes a little bit so they look like they're wearing like backwards hat or something like that. So I feel like the art style is really cool, but I will say there's too many loading screens. It's like, it'll be like a long cutscene. You're watching a video of them talking to Splinter, gives them the mission, and then you go fight some like mutant creatures. Like there's these bumblebees with boxing gloves on, and you have to fight them. But then you fight for a little bit, and then it's like long loading screen to get to the next part of the stage, and then it's like another cutscene explaining the monsters there, and so it's like very short gameplay areas where you walk a little bit, you fight some mutants, which it just seems like another one of those things where to me, they make the newer games more complicated, which takes away some of my enjoyment of it, because I just don't play enough to be getting super into it. I just kind of want to start and be playing for a while, which, you know, the old games were really easy for that. No internet, you just put it in, you're playing. And I think of like the TMNT arcade games that were always so fun. So, yeah, I don't know if I love this game so far, but it's fun to try out. Okay, and those were all our main recommendations, but I think you wanted to update us on your comic books.
Yeah, I have my Marvel comics that I'm reading right now, Power Rankings. It's been several months, I think, since I've done one of these.
Yeah.
The last one I did was as of April 1973.
Okay.
Was the last ranking I give, and now I'm at June of 1976. So I'm a little over 3 years later, and there have been some changes to the lineup. The core, last time we talked, Just a quick rundown from bottom to top. There were 8 on there. It was Ghost Rider, Marvel Team Up, Iron Man, Hulk, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Captain America, and Spider-Man was what was going last time. We were in the X-Men hiatus period. From about 1970 to 1975, I think. So here we are. Spoiler alert, X-Men have started back up as of 76. I had a couple shout out things that I wanted to mention that are not ones that I'm currently reading, but that came up during that period since we talked last, and I read some of. I read a short Defenders arc because Silver Surfer was in it, and I want to get all Silver Surfer that I can because Silver Surfer doesn't come back in until 1980 something, and I really liked it. So that was fun. It's Silver Surfer joins the original Defenders, which are Doctor Strange, Namor, the Submariner, and Hulk. And then they add Valkyrie into there too. Okay. So Valkyrie and Silver Surfer kind of are in there for a period of time. And then like Hawkeye's in there a little bit, and they have this big arc where the Avengers get pitted against them and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting.
But no Iron Fist yet, huh?
Not at that point in the Defenders, yeah. And yeah, they're not the Defenders certainly as in the Netflix adaptation. None of them are in it, right? Yeah. And then I read what I could of Blade, who appears in like Tomb of Dracula as a comic book and Vampire Tales. There's a lot of like that stuff in this time, which I thought was an interesting look at the time, where there was a bunch of like horror comics because in the early 70s, the Comics Code Authority started allowing it. Previously, you couldn't have vampires or werewolves
too
in
dark
comics.
Or something like that.
It was too dark or something, but they lifted it, and so there was this big boom of like I said, there's multiple vampire comic books at the same time. Tomb of Dracula, Vampire Tales. I think there's a couple other ones that I'm maybe not thinking of right now, but zombie series, werewolf series, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of them. I wasn't really into the whole vampire thing. I mean, Morbius is included. I think Morbius kind of gets his own like storyline in some of these comics. But I just wanted to check out Blade. Like, where did Blade start? It wasn't really my thing. It was okay, but the only reason I finished it is because there weren't that many issues that he's in at this time. If it was like an ongoing thing, this might be the one that I would not have continued, because it wasn't really super that great. And I've also read a couple of the Punisher's standalone stuff that they did. He doesn't get his own series until the 80s, I think. And Moon Knight. I wanted to read some origin of Moon Knight, which so far I really liked. He had guest appearances and his first appearance in Werewolf by Night. Okay. That comic book. Where cheesily, that character who is Werewolf by Night, his name is, what's his name? Jack Russell.
Like a dog, right? The dog.
Like Jack Russell Terrier. Yeah, his name is Jack Russell, and he's a werewolf. I was like, okay, all right. What are we doing
Jack Russell.
But to get into my main list here, there's 11 on here now instead of 8. Start at number 11, Ghost Rider. It's at the bottom. It's still every other month, and it apparently remains as only every other month until 1979. And then it became, I like it a little bit better when now his transformation used to be at night. At night he becomes Ghost Rider. But it started becoming when he's in the presence of evil, he becomes Ghost Rider, which is a little bit cooler.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's interesting to see that change and morph the same way that Hulk's power changed and morphed over time. It was originally like at night, or then we would get stuck as Hulk. for a long time until he got cured or something. And it was just all over the place. And okay, so to continue, number 10 is Captain America.
Okay.
Right now.
Fell off.
So Captain America has had some up and downs. Captain America in my last ranking was number 2.
Yeah.
And now it's second to last. And there's a lot of stuff in this time, at the beginning of this time, that is good. The storyline with Falcon, because remember, last time we talked, Falcon doesn't have wings yet. The storyline is, did we talk about Captain America and his super strength?
I don't know.
I think that might have been last time, where I always thought he had super strength in the comics, but then like in the beginning he doesn't, and he's just like peak human potential strength.
It's not like super soldier serum stuff yet, right?
Yeah, although that is what he took. But so the storyline about how he gets his super strength is he's fighting, who is it? Like it's one of the serpent people. I don't remember, the eel, I think maybe, and gets hit with a poison, but after he's cured of the antidote, that apparently had a reaction with his super soldier serum, and then he has super strength after that.
That's interesting.
And it seems to maybe that sticks, but because I was wondering if it would go away, and it's like maybe this is why I thought it is. I just didn't know anything before this point in the 70s when that happened. But what happens is Falcon starts feeling inferior now that Captain America has super strength. It's like they're not even anymore. Captain America can do more than he can. So he feels a certain type of way, like why is he even his partner? Why is he even around? So Captain America puts him in touch with Black Panther, and he goes to Wakanda, and Black Panther designs his wings for him, which is it's a pretty cool storyline to have. And so during that period, Captain America is up in the top, and they have this whole secret empire thing where Captain America teams up with the X-Men. Some of them are getting kidnapped, and there's this plot to overthrow the government. And that's really cool because at the end of that, it's like he goes and he like unmasks the main guy, and it doesn't show it to us, but Captain America is so shaken by who the top head of the secret empire is, ostensibly somebody high up in the government, that his like he's disillusioned by the whole government thing. And also part of that secret empire thing is that they run a campaign, like a propaganda campaign, to discredit Captain America and say he's not a hero. He's like going off on his own, going rogue and stuff, and people like the public turns against him. So after all that, Captain America gets like disillusioned with all of that stuff, and he is like, I shouldn't be Captain America, anymore, and wear the flag and that kind of stuff. So for a little while, he becomes Nomad, the man without a country.
Interesting. That's kind of cool.
And he has a different costume and stuff. It doesn't really last that long, but it's kind of interesting stuff is happening. But then that kind of drops off. They go through different artists. There's a period where I don't know who the artist is, but he honestly draws people like really like funny looking, like derpy. Like the eyes are weird. The eyes aren't like normal. They're almost like vertical, like very cartoony and funny. And it's like, what is happening here? And then I'm in a period right now where the original artist, like Jack Kirby, you've probably heard Jack Kirby. He's big instrumental in creating a lot of these characters too. He comes back and has a second stint writing Captain America, and it's very reminiscent of early stuff where it would have been good. I think I would consider it really good if it was in the 60s amongst all the other stuff that's in the 60s. But we're in the 70s, and the quality of a lot of everything else has increased. So it's not as good. I mean, it's just that it's a lot simpler, and it just doesn't hold up against all the other stuff. So that's a long-winded explanation of the rise and fall of Captain America at this moment in my rankings. So number 9 is Luke Cage.
Okay.
So Luke Cage was a lot higher too. I really liked it, but it does kind of seem like it kind of staled out a little bit. The writers don't know what they're doing with him to make him unique or interesting. That's kind of what it feels to me. It has gone to alternating months during this time. Iron Man is down here. It has another period where it goes to alternating months in here too, so it's kind of wavering. But it's I feel like it's almost ready to get a little better. I feel like there's the inklings of that. They brought back Happy and Pepper into it, like they were missing from before, and so that's better. Almost right in the middle, maybe at the bottom of the middle, is Hulk. I feel the same way. There's some interesting storylines with Hulk. He's sympathetic. I really like him as a character. And they do this thing where they have to try to capture him to use him as Bruce Banner to help save, Talbot, who ends up marrying Betty. Betty Ross marries Glenn Talbot. I think that Glenn Talbot character is in the first Hulk movie, but it's not really that important.
Been so long since I've watched that.
Number 6, Marvel Team Up. Team Up has gone back and forth kind of, because it's like, is it hero of the week fights bad guy of the month, fights bad guy of the month, and teaming up with Spider-Man, and like not good. But where this shines is the arcs. They have the arc where they fight Kang through time. Spider-Man with different people teams up with Human Torch, then the Inhumans. And the multiple arcs thing is interesting. Team Marvel Team Up goes 17 issues before the 18th issue is the first one that doesn't have Spider-Man in it. So it's all Spider-Man, which is great for me. Yeah. I'm not really interested in those issues without him. There's not that many though. And were you aware that there was another Marvel Team Up style comic series called Marvel 2-in-1?
No, I've never heard of that.
It is like Team Up, but instead of Spider-Man as the main feature, it's the Thing.
Really? As the main guy?
Yeah.
That seems random.
Yeah, as the main guy. It does seem random, but he must have been really popular at the time.
Yeah. It's clobbering time. I mean, that's pretty iconic.
Yeah, I only found out about it because there was some crossover with like a Daredevil storyline that went into that one. But then very recently, it just basically finished up this arc where Cotton Mather, not familiar,
No.
associated with the Salem witch trials.
Oh, okay.
Gets a hold of Dr. Doom's time machine, goes to the future and kidnaps Scarlet Witch to take her back to the Salem witch trials and burn her as a witch. And then Spider-Man and Vision go follow him back in time. And basically there's somebody called the Dark Rider who is trying to like rule all time. And he's the one who told
Cotton Mather about that?
Cotton Mather to do that, who actually went and kidnapped both Doctor Doom and Scarlet Witch to steal their like witchy powers, because like Doctor Doom is like descended from witchcraft blood or something, and so he's trying to drain their powers, to rule over time or something like that.
Yeah, that actually the name sounds familiar now as a real historical person, right? Cotton Mather.
Yeah. And then I just thought it was interesting. Basically, they do all that big fight. And then at the end of it, Vision and Scarlet Witch and Doctor Doom go back because they have to kind of team up together. Also with somebody called Moondragon that you probably aren't familiar with. But they go back to time, and Spider-Man's like, oh, I got to go back to the town and make sure they don't, kill all these people as witches, because that's still going on. We just escaped and fought this other battle. And it's kind of like a dark thing, because he goes back, and the last panel is like, you see all their legs hanging of these people, and he didn't get there in time.
Oh my gosh.
And he didn't change history. And I just wanted to read like the little like last part of it, and it says, because it's like kind of like a sobering thing of like, this is a thing that happened. And so it gives like a message. It's like, Salem hung its witches, at least some of them, on 19th of August 1692. History makes no mention of a battle that was fought in a clearing a little ways outside of Salem, and public outrage at the excesses of the witch riots cast Cotton Mather in disfavor, never to be taken seriously again. So he was not believed when he told of it, and indeed, because of his ravings, men thought him mad. History made this time to seem a nightmare, and man soon forgets his dreams.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good line. Wow. Good writing, yeah, and working in real history in there. I like that.
Yeah. So that was really good.
And wait, can I ask, is Moondragon a bald woman?
Yes.
Okay. I only know her from the little Marvel fighting app game I play sometimes.
Oh, that's
Marvel
right. Yeah.
Contest of Champions. It took me a second to put that together, but
yeah, she is originally she's associated with the beginning of Thanos.
oh, okay.
She is I think she's like a princess of Titan, the moon or something like that, where Thanos is from.
Yeah, I don't learn anything about like the characters from playing the game other than like I'm like, oh, she's cool to play as.
Yeah, and then a little follow-up is when Spider-Man tries to go back to regular time, he actually it gets into like a time storm and it goes too far.
Oh, no.
And he ends up in the distant future of 2019.
Wow. Yeah.
And he fights with a guy called Killraven against Martians who have destroyed New York.
Oh, my gosh.
And in 2019, that is 18 years after the second Martian invasion of Earth.
That's funny.
Wow. So it's kind of crazy. It was like the super distant future in 1976
and now
or
it's
whatever. 7
years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, continuing, number 5, Daredevil. This is where I first saw Moondragon and some Thanos lore and stuff like that. It has a period of time where it goes to alternating months a little bit. It seems like some of these comics are having a little tough time, or maybe they're having a hard time cranking them all out really fast. But he goes, like last time we talked, he was in San Francisco with Black Widow. He comes back to New York, and then Black Widow kind of like slowly fades out and is not in it anymore in the comic book. But this is a little bit high up here. I mean, 5 is fairly high, and you'll see why once I get to the top 4. Because we just had the first appearance of Bullseye, finally. So that was interesting. That was cool. So now into the top 4, which is the main kind of part here, because it's really hard for me to choose an order for these top 4. These are definitely the best, like not rivaled by the other comics in this time, and I had to put them in some kind of order. Number 4, Black Panther. It's at number 4 right now only because the part after the original arc, which is like him fighting against Killmonger, it's the movie basically, the first movie storyline, but it's way longer, and like the art is great. It's got crazy stuff, like he's fighting a bunch of jungle beasts and animals, crocodiles, giant gorillas, snakes, and also dinosaurs.
Wow.
He fights dinosaurs in there. In the middle of Africa, there's dinosaurs for some reason. But it's really good because it's like he has to come back because he spent this time with the Avengers in the United States, and in that time, Killmonger is trying to take over Wakanda for himself, and all the people that Black Panther ruled are kind of like, a lot of them are against him because he's kind of out of touch with them. He's been away for so long. It's like, why is he not here? So he has to re-earn the trust of his people because he's now seen as an outsider, as he's like battling all this stuff. And like every issue, he's like, his costume is like ripped to shreds. He's just totally beat up this whole time. And it's really good. And it's not Black Panther yet. This is the comic book is called Jungle Action, featuring Black Panther.
Interesting.
But after it falls to 4, because after that, he's done with that main arc, and it's okay after that, but like it loses some of the charm of what they were doing with that arc. He comes to the United States to investigate, his love interest's sister's death, and he's like fighting with the Ku Klux Klan there and stuff, which is kind of interesting. It's just not the same kind of thing, but it's still good. Number 3 is Iron Fist.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Glad to see him that
Iron
high.
Fist starts sometime in this period. I don't remember, 73, 74, something like that. His first run, which is in Marvel Premiere, to me is very reminiscent of that Black Panther run, where it's a heavy focus on the storytelling and the narration, like unique narration, where the Black Panther stuff is a lot like addressing him specifically. The narration in Iron Fist, and it continues into when it's his own comic book, it's in second person, like you are Iron Fist, and you blah 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 blah. So it's like an interesting choice that they made. Like they're doing their own like artistic thing, and it works really well. And it's also funny. I thought that both of these initial runs, Black Panther and Iron Fist, they feature a lot of the shredding of costumes. Like Iron Fist in the beginning, his costume's getting all like torn up, as he's trying to avenge his father's death.
Yeah.
Number 2, Spider-Man. Number 2 is Spider-Man. Okay. There's a lot of good things that happen in here where Spider-Man and comics as a whole kind of get a little more mature and a little darker. You know, Gwen Stacy, the death of Gwen Stacy in here, which starts to make me think of like comics take a darker look on the cultural outlook versus like the 50s and the early 60s. You get the Vietnam War and stuff that starts to make things a little darker. And then so you get the first appearance of Punisher there in this period of time. Aunt May, I don't remember if that it actually fully goes through, but Aunt May gets married to Dr. Octopus. Oh. It's kind of an interesting storyline. Harry Osborn then becomes Green Goblin. And then there's this whole storyline where the Jackal clones both Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker. Like Gwen Stacy's died, and then she shows up and like she has her memories and stuff, and he's like, what is happening, you know? And then kind of figures it out and ends up having to fight against himself to the point of which like neither of them knows, and it's not 100% clear like, okay, but who won that battle? One of the Spider-Mans ends up dying, and so you're like, is it the clone or is he the clone now? We're not 100% sure.
That's kind of wacky, kind of crazy.
Yeah, but does it matter? You know, anyway. And then number 1 is X-Men. It's great to have it back. Nice. This is the reboot that brings back, you know, or adds some of the classic characters that you think of. This is when introduced our Thunderbird, Colossus, Nightcrawler, Storm, Wolverine. Those are the new additions. Banshee is a new addition to the team, but Banshee existed before in the comics. He was bad at first. And then Jean Grey, Iceman, Angel, Polaris, and Havoc, they leave the team for this time. Cyclops stays. And then Beast is kind of like not really in here at this time because he joins the Avengers for this time, which I was not aware of. Yeah, but these are just, I mean, good stories with all of them. It's good to have the ensemble is done well during this time, whereas it was a big gripe of mine early on where like too many people, they're just fighting with each other all the time. Something about the different characters. They pick specifically characters from different cultural backgrounds, which is interesting, right? Thunderbird is like Navajo, I think. And then Colossus from Russia, Nightcrawler is German, Storm is from Africa, right? Wolverine is Canadian, Banshee is Irish. You know.
Yeah, that's cool. It definitely, hearing about all the stories makes me want to be reading comic books a little bit more. You recently gave me a big chunk of your duplicate comics. Yeah, I need to be reading more. A lot of interesting storylines in there.
And that is my big long list.
It was a big update because, we hadn't done it in a while. Okay, I was going to say we're almost toward the end, but actually we had another thing we wanted to do related to music. Yeah, because recently Spotify just had I believe it's a 20-year anniversary of them existing, right?
Yeah, and I looked it up. It's their 20-year from when the company was founded in 2006, but it released in the United States in 2011. Good to note. You know, so
I was going to say
missed
I
about
definitely
5 years of it, of the original release.
Did not think that it existed as far back as 2006 in my mind.
Yeah.
But when you go to your things that it shares with you, the first thing it tells you is the first day that you used Spotify. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but for me, it was a lot earlier than I thought it would be.
Mine seems about right, I would say. I think I've used it, at one point, and it was in the transition for me from Pandora. I don't think I really started using it a lot until probably 2014, 2015 maybe. This was a couple of years. My first date is a couple of years earlier than that, when I first loaded up Spotify for the first time.
Yeah, same here. I mean, in my mind, I was like, oh, I think Spotify was like brand new 2014, 2015 is what I was thinking. But apparently the first day for me on Spotify was November 3rd, 2012.
Wow, we must have talked to each other at that time. Mine was November 22nd, 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Same month.
Same month of the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a few years earlier than I would have predicted.
Yeah, and I think it's the kind of the same thing. We probably just were like, we heard of it for the first time then, and we loaded it up to see, like, what's the hubbub, and we probably found, well, it's not much different, you know, so what's the point?
Mm-hmm. For sure. The next thing it gives you is how many songs you've listened to.
Total number of songs, yeah. I'm imagining yours is higher than mine. Mine is 10,922.
Oh, yeah. Yep, mine is like maybe 3 times that about.
Oh, my Lord.
Because mine is 31,910.
Wow, that's so much higher.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of purposeful, like, trying to discover new music on Spotify because, you know, it's a lot easier. I don't have to buy a CD, buy a record or something. Yeah. So that's what I use it for. Next thing it tells you is the first song you ever listened to on Spotify.
Yeah.
I'll say about mine that I definitely would not have predicted this because I haven't gone back to listen to it. It's not a song I recognize. Like, I couldn't tell you how this song goes.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny. Because the first song apparently that I played is called Go Hard by DJ Khaled.
Oh.
I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know if I just clicked on a new release on the front page or I might have searched this. This was like a slang thing. I remember me and my friend saying, like, we go hard around this time. Like, but I don't recognize this song at all. I couldn't tell you how it goes.
That's funny. My first song is one that I like and I listen to, but it's random, but it's Two Princes by the Spin Doctors.
Oh, yeah. I like that song.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny. Next thing it tells you is your all-time most streamed.
Should we guess our most streamed artists? I mean,
I
would try to guess that yours was Shakira.
That's a good guess. She's usually my top every year, but it's not. Oh. Yeah, which is a little surprising because my top is Motion City Soundtrack.
That was my second guess.
Yeah, usually my second most streamed. I guess some years probably my most streamed. It would have to be.
Maybe in the early years before they gave out the Wrapped, stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I started listening to both Shakira and Motion City Soundtrack around the same time in my life. And of course by 2012, I was definitely listening to both of them. So I think I went through a big phase of listening to Motion City Soundtrack and learning their songs on guitar at a certain point. So
I imagine then that your total minutes that you've listened to them is much higher than mine too, based on, I think your listening in general is just more than me. What's your minutes?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. It says
it's on the same.
Yeah, you spent 16,173 minutes.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess your most streamed is REM.
Yep, that's right. With 10,459 minutes.
Okay.
So
similar.
Yeah. Not too far off. Yours is like 60% more.
Yeah. And then the next thing, it gives you a big playlist of your all-time top songs.
Yeah, so we wanted to maybe go through our tops. Like, first off, like, what's interesting about this playlist is it gives you the number of listens of all of them. Did you notice, like, it seems like it doesn't tell me how many songs it is. I'm guessing it's about 100.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I was guessing
it's like 100 of your top, and then it also throws on the first stream at the bottom.
Yeah. That DJ
It doesn't tell you how many
song
times you listen to that, though. But how many listens is your top one?
It's a high one. I might tell you there might be some funny business behind it because my top one is 832.
Holy cow. Mine's only 122 as my top.
Yeah, most of my top ones are like in the 100s.
Okay.
But I'll just start with saying what my number one is, because my number one with 832 listens is the song Eat Lead Slackers by the Almanac.
Oh.
So that's a band that I was in. I played rhythm guitar for the Almanac, and that's the first single we put out on streaming things. It is also my personal favorite Almanac song, so I did listen to it a lot, like on my way to practice, on my ways to shows. I would always start with that song because it was my favorite. But I think I might have done like some stream farming too, where I was like,
I mean, that
keep
you
it
just
playing.
Let it run. Yeah, on
I
repeat.
must have done that a little bit to get up to that
800
number.
is so much higher than everything else. That's crazy.
Yeah, because my number two is like half of that with 421 listens, and
That's
it's
still a lot.
And it's Jaws 19 by the Almanac.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
But then from there, like after those two, our first two singles, then it's more like what I would have expected with 192 listens for La Bicicleta by Shakira.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then LG Fuad by Motion City Soundtrack at 170. And then rounding out my top five is Falling in Love Again by Joyce Manor with 169 listens.
Yeah, it's still definitely more listens per song than mine. My top five, my top one, like I said, 122 listens, Barely Legal by The Strokes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I know I listen to that a lot, consistently.
Definitely wouldn't have guessed that.
I wouldn't have guessed a lot of these. Like my number two, I wouldn't have guessed, although I do know I listened to this a lot during one period of time when I was in my ska punk phase that I did during like 2016, 2017. And that is The Science of Selling Yourself Short.
Oh, yeah.
By Less Than Jake.
That's a great song. Great song.
Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed number two, though, top listened.
Yeah.
Then I got two REM songs. Finest Work Song at 114. The Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight at 103. And then I Can Hear Music by the Beach Boys.
Oh, I love that song, too.
At 97. That's actually tied with Foxglove by Murder by Death.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I really like that song, too. Those are both 97, though.
Interesting most played REM song. I like that one.
Finest Work Song.
Yeah, that's not like one of their big ones, I don't think, but that's a song that stood out to me when I listened through theirs. I like that one.
Yeah.
One thing that surprised me about mine is that my top Shakira song is La Bicicleta. I think that, Spotify notoriously has a bad shuffle.
Yeah.
I think it shuffles out
I feel
a
the
lot.
same about my top several like Billy Joel ones.
Yeah.
It's like they're probably not ones I would say are my favorite. Like my top Billy Joel is My Life. It's like, yeah, that's good, but it's there because it's the top one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I know that Spotify plays top My Life and Big Shot more than I want it to. You know.
Yeah, my top Motion City Soundtrack song is not surprising to me. LG Fuad or Let's Get Fucked Up and Die. That's the one that I have lyrics tattooed on my body from that song. But that's why I thought my top Shakira song would be Pies Descalzos Sueños Blancos. I also have lyrics from this tattooed. That's definitely what I call my favorite Shakira song. It does come in at my number 7, so it's like my second most streamed of her songs. So, yeah, other than that, not too surprising.
Do you have any interesting things? Interesting thing I noticed about my top 10 specifically is that I have 2 Strokes songs, 2 REM songs, and 2 Billy Joel songs. Those are the repeated artists in there, and that's already 6 of the 10 are just 3 artists. Yeah,
I have a few repeats. I mean, other than the Almanac, the song Out of Time, which is according to Spotify, our most famous song, Out of Time, is coming in at number 10. So I have 3 Almanac songs, but then I have 2 Motion City Soundtrack, 2 Shakira, and that's it for repeats, because then I have Julieta Venegas, I have a Lagwagon song, and then the Joyce Manor song. And then, yeah, scrolling down my list, I have more Motion City soundtrack, more Joyce Manor, more Julieta Venegas, a few Aesop Rock songs, Candy Hearts, Menzingers, Modern Baseball.
Yeah, how do you feel about yours? Like, just kind of scrolling down mine, I feel pretty good about it. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, like I would like to listen to this playlist. There's a lot of stuff I haven't listened to for a long time that I'm kind of surprised is on here.
Yeah, I agree. But, I mean, I definitely like all these songs. I'm like, makes sense that I played these a lot. And yeah, I haven't listened to the playlist yet. I just found it this morning.
Yeah.
You know? I have Sway by Michael Bublé on here. It's funny because that's the first one on our like driving around playlist. So it usually automatically starts.
Yeah. What is your last one? The least listened on your top 100 or whatever.
Yeah, let me go down there. I just found, I didn't notice this scrolling down. I Can Hear Music on mine also.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty far down though. But just above my first stream, Go Hard by DJ Khaled, is the song Mismo Amor by Julieta Venegas. A lot of her songs are on my list, but that's a more recent one from her, so it has 84 streams.
Wow, even your bottom is twice my... Your bottom is exactly twice my bottom. 42 is
42?
Is the bottom of my list, and that's Enid by the Bare Naked Ladies.
Oh, yeah, that's a random one.
I do like that one, though.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, scrolling through mine, I have a lot of Motion City soundtrack, Shakira, Joyce Manor, a lot of the same artists.
Mine's a lot of R.E.M., Eagles, Strokes, Billy Joel.
Yeah, cool stuff. I will be listening to this album. Yeah, and other people, listeners, if you made it this far, go stream the Almanac on Spotify.
Yeah. I'd be interested in. I haven't listened to anything else since this came out, but is it going to update? Is it ongoing forever?
Oh,
does it update, or is this just a snapshot of? Because it's not called 20th anniversary all time. It's just your top songs all time.
Yeah, so if you...
Is it ongoing? I don't know.
So something could drop off if something moves up.
It'd be interesting to find out. We'll have to...
It's a good question.
See how that shakes out.
Yeah, we'll update in the next episode maybe.
Yeah.
But we have another section to do, yes?
It's time for our recast of the episode. And this episode, we're going to recast a popular video game franchise that also has a lot of movies made of it, and that is Resident Evil. We're going to recast Alice. So if, instead of Mila Jovovich, who would you pick for a reboot of that character?
Yeah, this was a hard one for me. First, I wanted to mention something that I recently learned on a YouTube channel that I listened to. They did like a Family Feud style guessing thing, and there was the list of actors who have the most on-screen kills.
Oh.
And not too surprisingly, Mila Jovovich is number 2 of all time, behind only Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson.
A little bit surprising to me because he's not always like action hero killing millions of people, but
he's just in so many movies.
Yeah, he's just in so many movies, and including Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, I guess. But yeah, anyway, Mila Jovovich is a very iconic action star to me. It's hard for me to picture anyone else as Alice, her with the red hair, the red dress in the first one. So I had a few that came to mind, but I just had to kind of think who are cool female action heroes. Mm-hmm. And the one I'm landing on is just someone that I want to give a shout out because I feel like she's underrated as an action star, because I haven't seen her in any movies yet, but she's in 2 of those martial arts shows I mentioned earlier, and that is Olivia Chang. Olivia Chang is in Marco Polo, and she's also in Warrior. So she's like a prominent character in both of those shows, and she does a lot of cool martial arts in it. So she would be a great action hero to play Alice, beating up all the zombies in Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you pick?
Yeah, so I had a hard time with this because I have not really played any games, and I have not seen any of the movies.
Oh.
So maybe in hindsight, as we were picking this, afterward I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm like familiar with it, but I have like sort of familiar with it, but I'm picking again just based on action vibes, not really. So I went with Scarlett Johansson.
Okay. I mean, yeah. That would work because we've seen what she can do action-wise as Black Widow.
Yeah.
She's got the red hair, too, so it's like similar look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. That's interesting because one that I considered is the actress Olga Kurilenko, who plays Taskmaster in Black Widow.
Oh, uh-huh.
I just thought of that because she was in Thunderbolts, and I was like, well, she was a little underutilized in that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of her. And when I was looking her up, I had forgotten, but she's also in Quantum of Solace, the James Bond movie.
Okay. I thought she seemed familiar, like, as I picture her in that, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then I was also, like, I considered Jessica McNamee. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but she played Sonya Blade in the Mortal Kombat movies.
Okay.
But then I was like, that's just recency bias. I just went and saw the recent Mortal Kombat, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I landed on mine. But there is already a new Resident Evil coming out soon, so we'll see how they do it.
Yeah.
In case you missed it, our last episode of Adaptation Station was on The Boy with Striped Pajamas by John Boyne and the 2008 movie adaptation. And stick around because our upcoming episode will be on the book Hold the Dark by William Giraldi and the 2018 movie adaptation directed by Jeremy Saulnier. As for this episode, thank you for listening to episode 13 of the Some Brothers podcast. Support us with a like and subscribe to stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.